Alright, it's been around for a while. Some people know about it and others just don't. So today, I'm going to tell you exactly how to get your free grant money when you're getting a mortgage. Make sure you watch till the end though, because there's a bit of a catch. Everybody likes free money, and there's a few grants out there right now that you can use when you purchase a home, but today we're going to specifically talk about the Home in 5 program. Now the Home in 5 program is a 4% grant for most borrowers. Now on a $200,000 loan, we're talking about upwards of $8,000 in free money. That's a lot of money. So how do you get this money? The process actually seems pretty simple. You start by taking a home buyer education class. So let's go do it. You know what? We probably should change for this. Alright, so my class is done. I've got my certificate. So what's next? Just find a home and write an offer and then I get my free money? There's actually a couple other things. And the first is, the grant itself is something you actually have to qualify for. Let me show you what that looks like. This is the FHA Quick Reference Handbook. Basically, it's everything you need to qualify for an FHA loan. These are the Home in 5 Administrative Guidelines. Basically, these are the extra guidelines that you have to qualify for to get the grant in addition to getting the FHA loan. So basically, add these on top of that, qualify for all of it together. It's really not that complicated. You see though, with those extra guidelines comes a little bit longer of an approval process on the mortgage. And then of course the grant issuers themselves, they want to approve the grant piece. When it's all said and done, you're looking at about an extra week or so to close on the grant program than you would just a traditional FHA purchase. So where do we stand? I've taken my home buyer education class. I qualify for all the extra grant guidelines. I don't mind waiting an extra week to close, so now do I get my money? There's just a couple more things. Now you know that term, there's no such thing as a free lunch? It turns out that applies to free money grants as well. You see, the grant is supposed to just kind of supplement the traditional loans, which is usually the FHA loan like we discussed. But in reality, the grant itself is like its own program. It sets its own rates, it sets its own fees, and all these pieces. And as of today, when I'm filming this, the rate for an FHA borrower using the Home in 5 program is 4.125%. Now 4.125% is an awesome rate, historically a fantastic rate. The only problem is that similar borrowers looking at a regular FHA loan with loan originators that can also offer the Home in 5 program are probably going to be offered more like 3.5% today. But you know what? Let's look at all the numbers. $200,000 home. The grant is 4%. That's $8,000. $8,000 is greater than $70. But you remember that whole no free lunch thing? The grant program kind of has extra fees. There's a 1% origination fee, a $275 admin fee, a $400 funding fee, and an $85 tax service fee. I'm left with, what is that, $5,240. But you know what? $5,240 is still much greater than the $70 a month extra it's gonna cost. All right, but let's be honest. We're not getting 4%. We're getting more like 2.6% is not 4%. And all these extra fees, they really equal like 1.4% just in extra fees. But you know what? $8,000? That's a lot of money. Let's see how to make it truly free money. All right, so here's how we get it. Really free money. Now, a typical transaction for estimating purposes is 3% for closing costs. Now with this program, we've got 1.4% in extra fees. That gives us 4.4% in total fees. On a $200,000 purchase, the 4.4% in total fees is $8,800. Seems like a lot in fees, but my 4% grant, that's $8,000. But these are just our closing costs. I still have to do my 3.5% down. That's extra money. So I've got $8,800 in total fees. I've got 4% grant. Basically my grant pays for it. The way to make this really free money, get the seller to pay all the fees. Boom. You want really free money? Get the seller to pay all the fees. That's how you do it. All right, so now I have a plan. I take my class, I qualify for the extra guidelines, I get my realtor to negotiate 4.5% in seller paid closing costs, and then I close and I get my free money. That's just gonna cost like an extra $70 a month. Either way, this is terrific. You know what though? Just for fun, let's call on a few listings and see exactly how hard it is to negotiate for the seller to pay 4.5% in closing costs. And while we got him on the phone, we should probably talk to him about that extended close of escrow because it's gonna take us longer to close than most of the other buyers. Let's try that right now. All right, well, I appreciate your time. Okay, so that did not go at all as planned. You know what we need to do? We need to look at the numbers again, but this time assuming we get no seller paid closing costs. Let's check that out. We're gonna have to come up with a new plan here. We're gonna call this is almost free money. Now, we're still buying a $200,000 home. Our total fees, we decided, were $8,800 in total fees. But our grant is $8,000. That leaves us with $800 in fees. Really, that's not that much. So we've got some almost free money going on right now. So aside from our fees, we've got our 3.5% down, $7,000. So if I've got $800 in fees, I got $7,000 in down payment. My total out of pocket, $7,800. All right, so my principal and interest at 4.125% is $951. FHA also has mortgage insurance. It's $135 in this case. All right, so my total payment is $1,086. And that's obviously before taxes, insurance, HOA, all those fun pieces. But I've got $1,086 per month in payment. I've got $7,000 out of pocket. That has to be less than if I wasn't using the grant. But you know what? Let's compare them just for giggles. We're gonna call this one no free money. Still got the same purchase price, $200,000. Our traditional 3% in closing costs is really only gonna be $6,000. All right, this does have $8,000 in free money over here though, and last time I checked, FHA wasn't giving away free money, or are they? You know what, let's check this out. So the grant program is at 4.125%. Now, a regular FHA borrower today would be at 3.5%. So 3.5% would be where we'd have no extra fees. What if we were to look at a traditional FHA loan that was closer to this 4.125%? At 4.0%, because it's a rate that's higher than the lowest I could offer without charging extra fees, that rate actually pays the bank extra money, and that money gets refunded to the borrower in the form of a lender credit. In today's example, that lender credit just happened to be 2.62% of the loan amount. Now, this figure fluctuates all day, every day. We're looking at just the figure for today for comparison's sakes. Some days it's going to be less. Some days it might be more. But to give you an idea, this is what it looks like today. So let's bring us back over here. We don't have any free money, but if we took the higher rate, then we would get a lender credit of 2.625%. So at a rate of 4.0%, we'd get a lender credit of $5,300. That leaves me with $700 in fees. When it's all said and done, these are looking awful similar, but let's finish this all out. My down payment is still 3.5%. So my total out of pocket, $7,700. Obviously, we're gonna call it basically a tie today as far as the out of pocket goes on these two. My principal and interest payment, $937. MI is the same. So we're talking a total payment of $1,072 per month. That's $14 per month less than if I was to accept free money. So in essence, it cost me almost the exact same to get no free money as it does to get free money. And I can close this one in a more standard time period and not have to wait the extra time. I see what's going on here. All right, I guess that's pretty clear. The way you really get free money is to get it from the seller, because otherwise, probably doesn't exist. Now this can and does happen. The only thing is you have to make one very important decision. Do you want that awesome home that the seller also knows is awesome and that every other buyer in the market also knows is awesome? Or do you want that much less awesome home that the seller is really desperate to unload because no other buyer wants it? In fact, they're desperate enough that they're willing to offer you 4.5% in closing cost assistance and wait longer to close. So those are kind of going to be your options. But in the end, you're either going to have an awesome home or some free money. Either way, you win. Now, if you have absolutely any questions, give me a call at 480-744-6040. If you know of anybody that could benefit from this information, please share it on over with them. Maybe they're looking at a bond program or they're in the middle of trying to figure the whole thing out and getting that free money. Also, if you want to make sure to get all of our videos, click on the subscribe. Thanks, and we'll talk to you soon.